Hi guys, and welcome to the Oxford vs Sunderland match preview. So Sunderland do go away from home this weekend against Oxford, and what an absolutely massive game it is, because it is now in our hands with the final 6 games coming up. But before we do get into this preview, I do want to say a quick thank you, a massive thank you to everyone who joined the live stream at the weekend for the game against Gillingham. We always have such a laugh, and yeah, we always interact, have a good laugh in the chat, and you get to see moments like this.
Embleton with the ball towards. It's in! It's done it! We've done it! Done it! We've got done it! Come on! We've got it! Done it! Come on! Get in! The last chance of the game! We've only got it! Done it! And it's brought in! Ball over the top! And it's it in with his noggin! It's done it!
And with that, I'd like to announce that I will be live streaming again this weekend. If anything, it is easy for me when I can live stream. It is easier for me to live stream rather than watching a game or watch a game and then do a review to a game. I know a lot of you guys like to watch the reviews, but particularly if I have something to do straight after the game, it's easy for me to just live stream up until the end of the game, that I can just go and do what I need to do. Do you know what I mean? Rather than sitting around editing and doing all that kind of stuff. And sometimes, you know, once you've watched the game and you've lived it, it can get a bit sort of like, oh God, now I need to sit for 15 minutes and talk about it and then edit it for another half an hour, you know, all the boring stuff. But I really, really enjoy, and I'm getting into the flow of doing live streaming now. Of course, I can't always do it. Sometimes I'm at work, or sometimes time constraints and all that stuff. But yeah, so I am going to live stream again this weekend, and it'd be class if you could all join me again. It's so good. We have such a good time, and I really, really enjoy it. But going into the preview to the game against Oxford, and of course, I do have my question of the day. Last time I asked you guys where you are watching these videos from, and there were so many different places. I genuinely find it astonishing that so many of you guys from across the globe are watching me chat shit, which I find absolutely amazing. It's really, really good. But yeah, so this week's question is going to be, or today's question is going to be, who is your favourite player of all time who doesn't or hasn't played for your club? Now, my favourite player of all time who hasn't played for Sunderland is Ronaldo. Not Cristiano Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo. I used to be absolutely obsessed with the lad. He had an Inter Milan top with his name on the back. He had the Real Madrid top with his name on the back. I was obsessed with him. He was my absolute idol back in the day when I was a young striker as a kid. I was absolutely obsessed with him. So, yeah, so it'd be interesting to know who you guys idolised, or who you guys' favourite player of all time was that didn't play for the club you support. I know the majority of you guys are Sunderland fans, but some of you guys are from other clubs. So let me know in the comments down below. But getting into the preview. Finally, Jesus Christ, that's a lot to get out, isn't it? So for the preview this weekend, against Oxford, it's a huge one. I've been saying it for the last 10 weeks now that it's a must-win. It is a must-win because it is in our hands now. You know, after the draw against Lincoln, I saw so many people across social media, other content creators as well, which I'm not digging them out, of course, but saying the season's over, it's this, that, and the other, and of course it's not. Of course you're pissed off when you get kicked out of the playoffs, but with 7 games remaining, you're only a couple of points off it. The season's far from over. As we've seen, we beat Gillingham and we're straight back in it again, and it's in our hands. 6 games left. They're all must-wins. They're all cup finals. But if we win them all, win the playoffs. End of story. Is it as easy as that? Hell no. Of course it isn't. Oxford standing our way away from home this weekend. They're a good side, but they're also relatively inconsistent. They got beat against Plymouth, which, it's not an embarrassing thing. Plymouth are a good side. They've been in the top sort of 2-3 for the majority of the season. Very good side. And they got beat by a goal to nil, which give us that little bit of leeway and a little bit of space to jump into the playoffs with that late winner against Gillingham at the weekend. But, for me, I think they got beat against Pompey a few weeks back, 3-2. They drew with Ipswich before the game against Plymouth. They beat Shrewsbury. But, I think they've won 2 out of the last 5, losing 2 and drawing 1 as well. So a little bit of flashy, patchy form there, which is it's helpful for us. We've had several clean sheets on the bounce now without scoring too many goals. But that's what we need to start putting right now, because we're starting to kind of control games, look defensively a little bit more solid. Granted, in a couple of the games over the last few games where Pat always had to pull off some worldies, but against Gillingham, which, no disrespect to them, we were expected to batter, we were expected to control, and we did control. Pat had very, very little to do, and the combination of Bart and Bailey Wright, as much as, I say that they're very slow, in a back 4, they were actually decent. They were really, really decent, and, they have some big threats themselves, Gillingham. They have the big lad up top, Oliver alongside Kelman as well, and they were absolutely dominating him, which was good. Of course, you've got someone like Oliver who's a beast anyway. But yeah, they dealt with him perfectly well. So I would probably see them back again. You know, I don't want to mess around too much with a backline that's getting clean sheets, but he did that, Alex Neil, and you could see that it's sort of horses for courses, and it worked. So fair play. But yeah, so it's an absolutely huge game, and it's not going to be easy. And I did actually predict a week or two ago when I did my sort of final predictions, when I predicted everyone's fixtures, I predicted a loss in this game. So I'm going to actually stick to that. So I will get to that later on. But the only reason I'm sticking to it is because I've said it prior. So we will get to that in the score predictions at the end of the video. But I'm going to go for my preferred starting 11 for this game against Oxford. So as you can see, I've gone for the four at the back again with Patterson in goal, Sirkin, Bart, Wright and Winchester across the back. I've gone for Daniel and Matete in the middle, which will never happen in a million years. I'm fully aware. It will more than likely be Luke O'Nien and Evans again. The thing for me, and if you watched the live stream, you would have seen, I was so unbelievably frustrated with Evans. And you know, I know it sounds every week or every video now I'm complaining about Evans, but he just offers so little. And people say to me, oh yeah, but he sits in front of the defence, he defends, he does this, that and the other. I'm aware that there's some players that do sit in front of the back line and they don't get the credit they deserve, and I'm fully aware of what they contribute. For example, Grant Ledbetter. I knew what he contributed. He did sit in front of the back four, or he would come deep to collect it, but then he would turn, be positive, and be spraying balls left, right and centre. Evans doesn't even do that. He does come deep sometimes, but then he'll give it straight back, and he doesn't really offer anything for me. It's the most positivity you get from Evans for me is the occasional sideways pass. Never forward. Very, very rarely is it forward. And then you won't see him for 25 minutes, half an hour at a time, and you'll forget he's on the pitch. You know, for a captain and a leader, for me, it's a waste of a body on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's a waste of a set of legs. And against a team like Oxford, who are going to be right in our faces, he's going to get overrun to pieces. I thoroughly believe that, and that's why I think we need the legs. You know, Matete, how he's been dropped over the last few weeks, I do not know, because he was one of the star performers for a handful of games, and then he's found himself on the bench. He's not seen any game time. I don't know what's happened there, but for me, you know, box to box, he's solid. Daniel the same, maybe not as sort of defensively gifted as Matete, but Daniel does give you that brilliant interlink between the middle and final third, and that's where you get Pritchard, who was excellent against Gillingham. Broadhead for me, probably a little bit too early for him. He did tell Alex Neil, he did tell the gaffer before the game against Gillingham that you'll probably get a good 30 minutes out of him. Will he be enough to start, or will he maybe give him an hour from the start? I think that would be great to see, you know, Broadhead, Pritchard and Patrick Roberts in behind Ross Stewart. You could even adjust it to a 4-4-2 at times if needs be, with Broadhead and Stewart up top. You never know, but of course, yeah, Stewart up top there as well. But that is the lineup I would certainly go with. You know, it probably a little bit harsh on 09 because I think he had a good game as well. Well, it's an alright game against Gillingham. But I just feel that sort of combative side of Matete alongside Dan Neil, that's just what I want to see. Of course, this is my preferred. Is it my predicted? No, it's not. It's not going to happen in a million years. But that is what I would like to see on the team sheet on Saturday. You guys let me know in the comments down below who you would like to see start. Now, as I did allude to earlier on, I did predict a couple of weeks ago that this is the game. I felt like this was the only remaining game of the season that we would actually lose. I did say that we would lose to Oxford and we would draw against Rotherham and win the remainder of our games. I did also predict the win against Gillingham, but we need to start putting the ball in the back of the net. And I struggle. I really struggle to see where it's going to come from. Of course, Broadhead scored, but I feel like at times, particularly with Ross Stewart, people have been getting on Ross Stewart's back a little bit anyway, a little bit online. And I just feel sorry for him because the service into him is poor. I get that at times we're trying to play the ball along the ground, but it's almost, I feel like we're a little bit guilty trying to walk the ball in the back of the net at times. So many times on the live stream I was saying how, you know, we're playing this lovely football, little triangles, interchanging play between the likes of Pritchard and O'Nien, Winchester coming out wide right and Roberts as well. Everyone's interchanging really well, but then we're not really making too much progress, and then we'll end up losing the ball at the byline or the final ball. If we do eventually try and cross it, it's always hitting the first man. You know, you've got a big lad like Ross Stewart. He's a man mountain in there. Just float the ball in, and if we do want to play this early ball in, we're hitting the first man, or it's the one that's just sort of lofted in the air. So when we're on the counter attack, it's giving those those defenders, the opposition defenders, time to track back because it's in the air for so frigging long. Do you know what I mean? It just isn't. We're not seeing those purposeful crosses in behind that Ross Stewart is so good at getting on the end of. We're not giving him anything. He is so desperate to get on the ball that he is coming unbelievably deep for a striker just to get a touch, because you've got the wingers are doing all this pretty passing and then eventually not doing anything with it, or they have to resort to hitting it from distance. And the amount of times we're just getting blocks on the edge of the box, Gillingham, or because we're doing all this little pretty passing and interchange and playing triangles around the edge of their box. There was a good 3 or 4 times where, say for example, Pritchard or Roberts, the striker from the edge, and they're actually getting in the way of each other. Or once I think Ross Stewart blocked the shot from Pritchard. I think there was one where Pritchard got in the way of Roberts, and they were just doing it constantly because we're so obsessed with this pretty football, and it's great to an extent, but then you need to go direct when you get into these positions, get to the bylines, get in the wings, put some decent balls in. That's all I can say. But if it remains like that, I just don't know where the goal's going to come from. I can't see it. So I did predict, I can't remember what the scoreline I did predict for this game in that video the other week or the other day. But I'm going to go for a 2-0 Oxford win, which it kills me. But yeah, we'll see if that is the case. I'm going with my brain purely because I said that the other week and I don't want to contradict myself. But of course I would love to see a Sunderland win. So that will be my preview to the game, guys. It's going to be a really, really difficult game this weekend. And again, I will be live streaming the sort of watch along and my live reaction to the game. So be sure to join me. It's always loads and loads of fun. It really is. I will be live streaming from about 2:45 p.m. And then as soon as the game finishes, then that's pretty much it from me. And there isn't a review, like I say. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think the scoreline is going to be, and as well, your the question of the day, your favourite player of all time isn't a player that has played for your club, and of course, who you would like to see line up for Sunderland this weekend. Lots of things to comment about, isn't there? Lots of things to comment about. But if you enjoyed, hit the like button for me and subscribe if you are new. But for now, take care and stay jammy.